Welcome on back to another episode of the Goonery. Been a while. Life gets in the way. Being an adult fucking sucks. But we are here. Loaded episode. Training camp underway. Football season. The countdown's officially on. Trade deadline. Just a whole lot of mixed emotions. And the biggest party of the summer. SummerSlam this weekend. But Brandon, before we hop into things, how you doing? It's been a while since we've been here on the show.
I feel better knowing that it's August and football season is right around the corner. I am miserable with baseball, as everyone knows at this point.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I can't complain. Like you said, life gets in the way, but we here and we're breathing, so got to be grateful.
Amen to that. Amen to that. But like we said, training camp underway. Per usual, a lot of really great news coming out, a lot of news that's making you scratch your head. But then again, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. It's training camp. It's training camp. The first preseason game hasn't been played. But I feel like with our Bears, we've been seeing a lot more positive than negative. And you can't say the same for every team. So that is a positive, but I don't know whether to be excited, scared, nervous, a combination of all of that. And I think it's a combination of all of that. And the biggest reason for that is our quarterback, Justin Fields. We are very well documented on this podcast that we are all the way in on Justin Fields. He is the guy. The front office is all the way in on Justin Fields. The rest of the league, apparently all the way in on Justin Fields as well, coming in at number 86 on the NFL Top 100, ahead of Trevor Lawrence, who was first overall pick in his draft class, which I was surprised to see, completely honest. Not complaining. I mean, the players across the league obviously respect Justin Fields. The thing that scared me the most, though, Justin Fields has more MVP bets on him currently across the board from the public than Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Joe Burrow combined.
Whoa.
Remember the last time that happened with the Bears quarterback?
I believe that was 2019, and
you are absolutely correct. It was 2019 when Mitch Trubisky held he was the most bet player to win the NFL MVP.
And it's
different situations. It is very different situations where you know how dynamic of a player Justin Fields is. You need to see him take that next step as a passer, as we expect him to. You've heard the glowing reviews out of the offense so far in training camp, the connection and the rapport that Fields has with DJ Moore already. I mean, they've been ripping the defense to shreds. Darnell Mooney comes in looking like an action figure now, and the rapport between him and Fields has improved. Kmet gets the extension. It's Tyler Scott apparently looks like even better than we expected. And there's just still so much uncertainty with this offense where I am now afraid that Justin Fields is being looked at like this in the eyes of the public.
And that's very legitimate. But I think a lot of people need to tune it back because we've seen mixed bag reactions with the offense of how they looked in training camp over the past couple of days and whatnot. And defense has won the day the past 2 days.
Yep.
And I want everyone to keep something in perspective. We have a lot of focus on what Justin Fields is going to do in training camp, which is very, very it's legit. You're supposed to. That's the franchise quarterback, and it's a guy that you're putting all your chips on the table on and you're very confident he's going to be the franchise quarterback. But I will remind some people of this. Do people remember how bad the Bears defense was last season?
Yeah.
They were Trestman level bad. Trestman, Mel Tucker levels of bad. And if you were around for that era, you just said to yourself, man, if you give me a clipboard and a headset, I can coach a better defense than what they did. And it was that bad last season. And so when you turn around and you see the draft picks are shining through. We're hearing about the veterans. Tremaine Edmonds sounds like he's going to be a godsend.
A star.
Like not on level Brian Urlacher, but maybe the level below.
Mm-hmm.
TJ Edwards coming in. I mean, he led the Eagles in tackles. And then whoever's gonna have that middle linebacker with Noah Sewell or Jack Sanborn, it doesn't matter because they both can play.
They both can play.
But the secondary is what has really, really caught my attention. Kyler Gordon had a lot of struggles last season. Obvious growing pains as a rookie, and when you are on a lesser team with no pass rush to exist, you're going to struggle as a secondary. And a lot of what I've heard is pressure coming from Javon Dexter, Zach Pickens getting some push, not Deshaun Gibson, Travis Gibson getting some rushes in there. And you know, it's just that's really all it's going to take for this defense to be improved. And when you hear that Tyreek Stevenson is getting these reps against DJ Moore, but also Terrell Smith is getting some burn, you're just like, man, that's a really, really good. That's really good news considering Kendall Vilder would have been in that slot, but Terrell Smith has probably outplayed him so far. That's really good news. So I know all the focus is going to be on the offense. I think what the one thing that we really, really need to be happy about is that chemistry is being built. Him and DJ Moore, the way they're connected in practice, from what I've heard, you would think they've been teammates for 5 years. Darnell Mooney was the first guy he gained that chemistry with. Chase Claypool, it's been mixed, but it's been more good than bad. That's a good thing. And you have 2 tight ends that can legitimately ball. People, if a pass gets tipped, if a pass gets airmailed, it's okay because no quarterback is perfect. No quarterback is going to be great every single time. So if that's what you're worried about the wrong things. And also, biggest point of them all, a game hasn't been played yet.
And there are just the expectations for this team, I still think need to be tempered. I know everyone is saying 7, 8, 9 wins is in the realm of possibility, and I'm not ruling that out. But I really do think, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. There is so much gelling that still needs to be done, and this progress is being made. I've come back down to earth in the last few weeks, and I'm expecting 5 wins. I genuinely, and I know Justin Fields has said he is going to come out and throw for at least 4,000 yards. I pray to God he does, because one, the first ever Bears quarterback to do so, which insane, absolutely insane. Realistically, though, are you expecting that step? I mean, he threw what? I think 21 times a game last year.
So I'm going to say he will get close to that number. He will not reach it. And the reason that it's very within the realm of possibility that he does is because it's very clear that the offense and who they had as personnel played a very big part in the play calling. And if anyone's going to tell me that the Bears didn't purposely tank last year, I will show you a liar. I think they were purposely tanking. They know they had a plan going into the season.
Absolutely.
So I think with now they know who they have as receivers. They have a clear plan of what goal they have this year. Because last year was to get the worst draft pick possible. Now this is a team that says we can overachieve. And with that being said, I think a lot more of the playbook is going to be expanded because of that. And truthfully, I mean, if that's the case, that's really good news for us. But I'll say this: if Justin Fields throws for over 4,000 yards, the Bears are making the playoffs. There's no way. There's no possible, conceivable way they'll miss the playoffs unless the defense is record bad like they were last season.
No, and so going back to the MVP numbers, right? If you take a look at when Lamar Jackson won the MVP, he threw for about 3,200 yards, and I think he ran for about 800 or so. Now, I'm not saying Justin Fields is going to win the MVP, but just based on the public perception right now, with all of the money coming in, realistically, I'm not ruling out 3,300 yards and 1,000 yards in the ground for Fields. I think that that is realistic, especially since I don't think there's a genuine bell cow on this team right now. Sean Johnson might and probably I think will develop into that, but you're going to be splitting so much time because there's so much talent in the backfield. Fields with his ability to run the ball. Dr. Foreman, Khalil Herbert still. I mean, there's so many options coming out of the backfield, but I want to see this year from Justin Fields, and I do think we're going to see this. I want to see less scramble, more designed run. And I do think that that is what we're going to see. The offensive line is going to be better. You want to get me really freaking excited? Speaking of the offensive line, Tevin Jenkins quote, the other day, I think 2 days ago, about Darnell Wright saying that Darnell Wright is a grown man and light years ahead of me physically coming into the league. And I saw a side by side of their draft measurements.
It is identical as hell.
They are virtually the same. So the fact that Kevin Jenkins is saying that Darnell Wright is a grown freaking man and taking like a fish to water, I am more excited about that pick than I was before.
And I think a lot of people have been concerned about him because there's been a lot of reports that, this guy beat him, that guy beat him. But you know what? I think people are missing the general thing about football. Do people realize the transition to college and NFL is not a seamless transition? Look at the quarterbacks who get drafted every year. They're not gonna break through as easily as everyone thinks they are. It doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. Maybe you could say that we're running back. Maybe you could say that wide receiver. Maybe you could say that was some offensive lineman or defensive lineman. It doesn't happen like that for every position.
No.
So people need to relax when it comes to him. And even with any rookie that's on a team, like Tyree Stevenson, if he gets beat week 1 by Romeo Doubs or Christian Watson, I mean, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Exactly.
It's going to happen.
It's the rookie growing pains. And you would rather those growing pains be on a team who is going through it together. If that makes sense to you. I would rather see all of these guys fail together, know what it's like to fail. And this sounds so like such a meatball take. I get it. But I would rather all these guys are going to fail together. That's just how it's going to happen this year. I'm not expecting a lot. They're going to have that feeling in their mouth going into training camp next year, going into the season next year. They don't want that to repeat, and they are going to push themselves to be a better football team. End of the day, I just want the season to start, man. I don't know what to expect because realistically, with the steps forward that this team could take, we could reach the highest of highs. I'm not saying Super Bowl, but I'm not ruling. I don't think a division title is impossible. I will say that. I do not think a division title is impossible just because realistically, I don't know what to expect with the Lions. I mean, yes, I think that they are the division favorite right now, I would say. Minnesota not far behind them, and I'm expecting Green Bay to just completely fucking suck. I don't think that they are going to be a good football team, and I think they move on from Jordan Love after year 1. I genuinely think Jordan Love is going to be that bad.
So I'm going to kind of refrain from talking about the Packers because we see it in week 1, and I feel like
I know
it's such a scary territory because everyone around me is like, "Oh, you guys should win that." Jordan Love is still trying to prove himself and whatnot. And if you ask me, at this moment in time, I think that week 1 game is going to be extremely ugly, and I feel bad for those who are going to be watching as the primetime game at 4:25. But what I will say is this. The division is not out of the realm of possibility, no matter what anybody says. No. And I know that we were in this position last season where we say maybe they get shot the world, maybe not. But the talent on this team, it just seems a bit undeniable, especially considering how close they were sticking with teams last year. And not for nothing, I know people just kind of scoff at this, but the team seems to really, really, really like playing for Matt Eberflus, and that matters. So you combine all of that, anything's possible this year. Yeah. Anything. Am I going to say we're going to win the division? No. But is playoffs out of the realm of possibility? Absolutely not. But it really a lot of things have to come together, and that's completely fine because a lot of people will say the Bears are 1 year away from really contending. If they could really bridge that gap like the Lions did last season, since everyone kind of just marked the Lions as the preseason darlings, that goes a long way, especially with the money that we have right now.
Mm-hmm. No, you're absolutely correct, and it just this year is it's so make or break for both. I think the coaching staff and for unfortunately Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I I don't think that we're going to be having this conversation next year talking about a new quarterback. I don't, because I am extremely confident in Justin Fields, and this team seems to want to be around him, wants him to be their quarterback. We've seen what he can do. He's special, and
Yes.
that's all this year is about. We seeing Justin Fields take that next step, and I think that all Bear fans are on the same page, and just counting down the days to opening Sunday.
Yes. And one thing I will say with these growing pains on offense and training camp, be prepared for that to translate into the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that that's a thought that's going to scare the shit out of Bears fans because the early season schedule is relatively easy outside of Kansas City and Denver.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be patient. You don't have a choice to be patient.
Yeah.
But I think you can have a true legitimate evaluation of Justin Fields by, let's say, week 8 to week 10. Then
Mm-hmm.
you'll really know who we have at quarterback or if we have to move forward.
Yep. Correct. So I'm just counting down the days to opening day and the first preseason game so we can just see all of the overreactions for 1 or 2 drives out of our starting offense. That's what I can't wait for, just to see the Twitter meltdowns from Fields going 2 for 6 on 2 drives with.
Yeah, I'm not ready for it.
No.
I'm really not.
It is what it is. We at least have some optimism for our football team and the future, but I know the two of us are 2 baseball teams. We do not have any optimism about our futures. And it is crazy how, in a span of 4 months, we can go from being hopeful to just at the lowest of lows. And I personally think your Cardinals are still in a better spot than the White Sox. But 2 teams who probably were not expected to be sellers at this deadline, who just obviously the White Sox blew it up more than the Cardinals, but Jack Flaherty's gone. I would love to. Where are you at on that?
Oh boy. So I think the Cardinals did what they needed to do at the deadline. There are fans that are upset because they didn't really set the table to have a starter for 2024 or whatnot. But if you really think about it, they set the table well
Mm-hmm.
for 2024 if they really want to go out there and get whoever, because the Cardinals know that this season is over. And them selling off their players is very much proof of that. The rotation is proof of that, and even, well, not really the alpha situation, but I expect that's going to be rectified in the offseason. While I will applaud John Mozeliak for what he did at this trade deadline, I do think the Cardinals are playing a game right now
Mm-hmm.
that is very, very dangerous. And you know what that game is? Trusting John Mozeliak to build a roster again. And here's the thing. We have to think about this real quick. 2019 was the last time the Cardinals made the NLCS. You want to know what happened at NLCS? They got swept by the eventual World Series champion Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
So the last time we won a playoff game was in 2020, which we won the first game of the series against the Padres, and then I win again. So you want to talk about, since 2019, the Cardinals have won 2 playoff games
Mm-hmm.
where they got swept in NLCS. They got beat 2-1. They got beat in the 1-game wild card, and they got beat in the first round last season. And What did John Mozeliak do to respond? He signed Wilson Contreras, and that was it. That was it. And that type of arrogance scares you, because do you know how ignorantly arrogant you have to be to get swept last season and make one move thinking that you're so close to a World Series? You didn't even come close. You didn't even come close. So you see all that, and then you see the play on the field, which is so heavily reflected upon the managing and maybe the change of the staff. And still you say, we have faith in the guys that's coaching this team. Really? Because let's be honest. Oliver Marmol was the product of Yadier Molina and Albert Pujols. They told Marmol, listen, we're gonna have two guys that's veterans that have been around the game, and they'll teach you everything that you're gonna know about this game. And then next season you're on your own. Really? That's a formula. And you fired a guy that simply disagreed about where the direction of this ball club is going, so you could get a puppet. And the problem is with that puppet is that he's going to do and say whatever the hell he wants, that Mozeliak wants him to say. And that's why this team is going to fail. So sure, I can sit here and applaud Mozeliak for saying, hey, we made a mistake in this offseason and we realized it didn't work. We have to make some changes. And maybe he did learn his lesson. But I don't know that until December. I don't know that until January. Because how can any Cardinal fan with a clear conscience admit that they trust this man building a roster again? How can they do it? I think I'm not going to say it's impossible, but whatever is the closest thing to impossible is where I'm at right now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, as a White Sox fan, similar situation. It's Rick Hahn is getting to rebuild this team now for the third time. He is the second longest tenured general manager in baseball and sports. That's just, it's a lifelong job. I mean, the White Sox way, the Bulls way, the Jerry Reinsdorf way. You have a job for life as long as you're loyal, and that's the fucked up part. And the only reason that Garpax they were gone from the Bulls was because when Chicago hosted the All-Star game, you got a fire Garpax chant going during the All-Star game, during the dunk contest, during the three-point contest, the skills game, the Rising Stars Challenge, banners, signs, chants. It's the only way there was change. Was it got brought to the national media level, and just the fact that Rick Hahn, who I'll give it to him, he knows how to maximize return on investment during trades. During in-season trades, he can wheel and deal. I will give him all the credit in the world. I mean, hell, he got the number 9th ranked left-handed pitching prospect from the Marlins for Jake Burger. Jake Burger's having a hell of a year, don't get me wrong, but this is a guy who wasn't on the big league roster to start the year. He should have been. He's got 26 home runs, I believe, right now, but since June 1st, he's been hitting 150. And they just got a fringe top 100 prospect for that. And I understand he's 24 years old, coming off Tommy John in AA. This is a guy who has been called a left-handed Spencer Strider in his scouting reports. So you know what? I will take that potential to return on investment for Jake Burger, who, yes, he has team control through 2027, I believe. But the White Sox have so many first base, third base, DH guys that it doesn't matter. He didn't have a spot with Yohan Moncada still under contract. They're not going to part ways from Andrew Vaughn, who I have started to be very concerned about. But that's a whole different argument. But Rick Hahn dealing Giolito and Ronaldo Lopez, getting a top 100 prospect and a catcher for an expiring starting pitcher and a reliever who just can't throw a fucking strike. You'll take that in addition to the Angels 2 and 3 prospects. You'll take that all day. The fact that they got anything of value for Lance Lynn and Joe Kelly blows my mind. Yeah. Rick Hahn knows what he's doing within the season to make trades. He's always going to be hindered by the fact that Jerry Reinsdorf does not want to spend money. The White Sox have $75+ million to spend in the offseason this year just to get back to where the payroll was at the start of this offseason. And they're not going to go after any blue chip guys. They're not going to pay anyone any big money. I already know it. They are going to sign multiple fringe big league guys who are just journeyman utility guys to $5-10 million deals and just put on the facade that, oh, we're going to contend for the AL Central. The fact that Rick Hahn, Kenny Williams, White Sox brass came out the other day after completely clearing house sans Dylan Cease, Luis Robert, Eloy. I guess you can include Tim Anderson at this point, who has been much better since the All-Star break. Vaughn, I mean, they're saying you're expecting to contend when you're in fourth place in the AL Central right now if you're dealing just about everyone. And the AL Central is most likely to finish as the worst statistical fucking team or division of all time. The Twins are in first place right now with 2 games over, and they are the only team who didn't sell in the entire division. They're 2 games up. They didn't make any big moves to, try and separate themselves because they didn't need to. The division is just that fucking bad.
Yeah.
And we talked about Brandon this year, how, just got to pull back. Don't let the team bother me so much. I am just at such a point of I don't give a fuck. And it's just, I never thought I would be here. I never thought I would be here. I have 7 games left. So I have two tickets per game in my package. I have 7 games left. I have no desire to go to any of them. And I'm not going to sell them because no one's going to fucking buy them.
Exactly.
So that's the problem. No one's going to fucking buy them either. No one wants to be there. The next time I'm in that stadium, because I'm inevitably going to go, I will have a paper bag over my head. I legitimately have made fun of those people in the past. I go, that'll never get that bad. It's that bad right now. It's that bad.
So it's funny you brought up that point of not wanting to go to these games and whatnot. So I listen to a specific radio show every day. And one of the topics of the conversation was like, how far do you support your team when you know they're really, really bad? And there was somebody who said, you're not a true, you're not a true diehard fan if you're not watching every game, even though they're bad. And and you know what? I have been so spoiled this year that I've come back down to earth.
Mm-hmm.
I've been knocked on my ass. I've got dirt kicked on me. I've got a milkshake thrown on my face. All that shit. Okay, all of this happened, and you just get to a point, and here's the thing. I think here's where the judgment comes in from the regular people of how fandom works. When you're a fan of something, you get mad at the result. And it's not just sports. You get mad at a movie, you get mad at a TV show, you can get mad at anything because you're a fan and you give a shit.
Yep.
But when they continually give you reasons to not give a shit, why would you give a shit? Yep. That's it. It's one of the most asinine arguments to sit up there and say, I'm going to torture myself because I'm so loyal to this team that Jaylee does not give a shit about me just because of the moves that they're making or the moves that they're not making. That's a crazy, oh my goodness. That's a crazy concept to me. It really is.
I mean, I'll be honest. I guarantee you I will still watch in some capacity 80% of the Sox games this year. I was cleaning my apartment today at start of the game. I had watched the first 2 innings until I had turned the TV off, just listening in the background, watching every once in a while, walking around, cleaning, doing whatever I need to do, keep taking glances at the TV, listening at all times. When it got to 7-0 in the bottom of the second, I'm like, all right, fuck this, TV's off. And
yep.
I won't check the box score until after the game's over tonight, just because I talked about the Jake Burger trade. and I said that, I love the value, which I do. I do. But Jake Berger is the one player in this rebuild, I feel like, that the fan base has grown an attachment to. I cannot tell you a single White Sox fan who disliked Jake Berger, a guy who was a first-round pick in 2016, ruptured his Achilles during his rehab, re-tears and re-ruptures his Achilles, isn't on the taxi squad during COVID, so the Sox let him go play in a collegiate summer league, and every time his number's been called, comes up and just fucking hits. And people are like, oh, you shouldn't be upset that he's gone. There's no place for him because of Vaughn and Makata. Vaughn and Makata aren't fucking good. They just simply aren't good. And I would rather watch someone who at least is going to be giving it 110% out there, who's going to be just, he wants to be there. I mean, it's just the White Sox way. The minute you start to grow an attachment to someone, something, there's a positive, just they pull the rug right out from you. And, I should be used to it at this point, 23 years, but just pain and misery, man. And
yeah,
if I were you as a Cardinal fan, I would still have optimism for next year because the talent is there aside from the pitching staff. And I would still think that they have a shot at making the playoffs next year, making a run. I mean, they're a couple of arms away. And the Cardinals are one of the premier franchises in Major League Baseball. It's not a great class of free agents, but I'll be honest. I mean, you're not going to get Ohtani. Sorry. I mean, I don't. You're not getting Ohtani. But an Aaron Nola.
That's a name I'm really keen on.
A Blake Snell.
I wouldn't mind.
Julio Urias, or however I mess up that every time. But
him and Nola at the top of my list.
And then, I mean, Eduardo Rodriguez is on that list as well.
I think the Cardinals will be looking at him.
And another name I wouldn't rule out is Lucas Giolito, who I know he got shelled today, and for the Angels, he got fucking shelled, and it was bad. But
it's the Braves.
Exactly, and he's had a great year. He's bounced back, and
yeah,
I still think he's going to get paid a hell of a lot of money from someone.
Oh, he will. He will.
It's a relatively deep, it's very top heavy. The starting pitching free agents this coming off season, but then the year after that, man. Have you taken a look at 2024, 25?
I have not. I'll
read you some of these names. All right, Garrett Cole, Verlander, Scherzer. Okay, Verlander, Scherzer are going to be old as dirt. They're going to be done. Let's be honest. Okay. Corbin Burns, Zach Wheeler, Brandon Woodruff, Max Fried, Bieber, Walker Buehler, Nathan Eovaldi, Tyler Glasnow, Robbie Ray, Pablo Lopez, Stroman, Alex Cobb, Charlie Morton, Freddie Peralta, Michael Wacha, Clevenger, Jermaine Marquez. I could keep going. The names are, I mean, it's a great fucking starting pitching class.
Damn.
Yeah. And that, I didn't include some of these names. Shane Bieber. Who else? Stroman, potentially. Alex Cobb, Kyle Hendricks, Charlie Morton. There's a lot of freaking options out there in 24, 25. So the money that's thrown around these next two off seasons, though, is going to be bonkers.
Astronomical.
Bonkers. Because, on the topic of Ohtani, realistically, what do you see him? Is he get over 650, 700?
Yeah. And it's going to be from the Angels. He's not going anywhere. I don't think he's going anywhere. If they make the playoffs this year.
Here's the thing. If they make the playoffs, no shot he leaves.
I don't think he leaves. But I have a fear. I have a massive fear. The Cubs are going to throw a whole bag and maybe even some ownership of Wrigley Field at him. The money they're gonna throw at him, I don't think it's gonna be hard to turn down, and it's gonna scare the shit out of me.
If I'm being honest, I know everyone's saying the Mets, the Dodgers are the two most likely destinations. I genuinely think it's the Cubs. As much as that
Yeah.
it pains me for you, it pains me for me because
Yeah.
I living in Chicago, being a White Sox fan, I don't think I could take hearing it from my friends, my family who are Cub fans for the rest of my days, the rest of Otani's days, that the greatest baseball player of all time is playing on the north side. It would,
The
it
only
would,
so
it would probably, it would break me. I honestly think it would break me.
it will break you.
Yes,
What do you do to me?
I know, I know. I'm just saying.
I'll fall down to my damn knees if I
Oh,
get that breaking news. I don't give a damn where I'm at. I could be in public. I could be working in New York City. And if I just get that news while I'm just walking in front of all those damn people on the sidewalk, I will fall to my knees and say, no. I'll scream it. And
I
you know what? Consider if I'm in New York, if I'm in New Jersey, guess what? They'll do the same thing with me because
he's
everyone
not
thinks the
going to be
Yankees
on
are
the
going to
Mets.
get everybody.
Yep. So I got to ask. I mean, just on the topic of trade deadline, Major League Baseball, what is it like out on the East Coast, Jersey, New York, right now with the Mets just completely blowing it up for the Mets blowing it up, the Yankees doing jack shit. I mean, like, just what is the vibes right now? I would love to be listening to sports radio in New York. I would love to hear Francesa's thoughts. I just
So I'm glad you asked this because so before I get started, I want to say I think the Mets sold too early. I know it may seem like they're out of it, and I know they want to get a return for the guys that they probably think are going to go where, maybe in the offseason, but I think they sold a little bit too early because from what I've known is that things could change in August. August is really where winter baseball comes in. So I think they sold a little bit too early. But in terms of them selling, I don't think many people are on board. I think they're happy that they're selling these guys off now. You're building for the future. You're getting those prospects in case you want to make a big trade and do whatever. And you're just going to retool for 2024. And I know you don't like that word, but I feel like that's what they're going to do.
yep.
Now, the Yankees. I can't even fathom how stunned I was. They did nothing. They did
Nothing. Oh
nothing.
no. They traded for Kenny Middleton
Middleton.
from the White Sox.
They traded for Middleton. And you
Sox
know
got
what?
their 29th ranked prospect.
I don't think they gave a single solitary shit about that trade whatsoever because they needed a bat. They needed an outfielder. Dylan Carlson was right there for us. Why couldn't we make a deal? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was right there, but you hear the callers. Everybody is calling for Cashman's job. And here's the thing, too. He's in a really shitty situation. And the reason I say that is it's not like he hasn't spent money. I think what I saw this offseason was we made it to the ALCS with the Astros. We got swept, but we made it.
Yep.
I don't know how much needs to be addressed because they didn't address the left fielder position even in the offseason, which I thought was insane. It was completely insane for them to do that. But they got arrogant. And when you are the general manager of the Yankees, considering what George Steinbrenner is, because one thing that is the most relevant thing on sports talk radio in New York, it is the question, what would George do? They hold on to George Steinbrenner like that one rock that's you're holding on to and it's eventually about to break. Because the fact of the matter is George Steinbrenner would sign these guys, but then again, it's just not it's not like that anymore. It's not like that. But for Cashman, it seems like he has a lifetime deal, it seems, with the Yankees. But I will say his arrogance and the fact that they could potentially miss the playoffs and has not gotten far to the World Series since 2009, yeah, you might have to start looking at him. You might have to.
Hey,
it's not all of his fault, but that's just you just charge it to the game at that point.
hey, the only GM who's been tenured longer than Rick Hahn. So,
yeah. Before we move on to the next topic, I have to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you rate the self-awareness of the White Sox to sit there and say they want to contend in 2024?
Zero. Or actually, no, negative like 1 million.
I mean,
I
I'm not even a White Sox fan. I said, you've got to be kidding me. Yeah, you're joking. You're laughing at the fan base at that point.
I trust me, I am in Twitter group chats with White Sox fans, group chats through text with my friends, my family. I'm in a massive group me with that I got added to in college. There are 554 members in this group me. I haven't muted most of the time. I check in from time to time just to see what's going on. But the one message I got from someone that just like I've never felt the same way more from reading a message, I think, was do they think we're fucking stupid? What do they expect? It's just like how in any way, shape, or form you're gonna be having it's gonna be Dylan Cease, Michael Kopech, who is proven he should not be a starter, unfortunately. Tommy John just fucked him, and that's how it is. I mean, he was great in the pen, and I think he'll end up in the pen somewhere else again because whoever trades for him probably won't keep him as a starter just because it can't happen. Or you know what? He'll probably end up going to Cleveland or Tampa, the Dodgers, and they'll fix him. And he'll win 3 Cy Youngs. Who are we kidding? That's just how it goes with the White Sox. But you're going to tell me you're going to contend in 2024 with Dylan Cease and then 4 quadruple A starters? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. You have no one coming back from the pen next year aside from Aaron Bummer, who peripheral stats are horrible. Advanced stats, he's pretty fucking. He just really unlucky. And then you have Garrett Crochet, who's been injured, Gregory Santos, and then the news came out that Liam Hendricks had Tommy John today and will be out until 2025. It's just there's no optimism. There is no optimism. We're going into 2024 with not only the pitching woes, a horrible fucking manager in Pedro Grifol who just is in over his head and doesn't know what he's doing. And the catching position is all still up in the air. A lot of prospects, but Grandal's contract's up. Sebi Zavala clearly isn't it. And then for this, since 2008, we haven't had a fucking second baseman or a right fielder, and we're going into next year with that same exact issue. And we're contending though, 2024. I'm just glad that the rebuild peaked with a Lurie Garcia home run to take the lead against the Astros in the ALDS, which they won 1 game in that series, by the way. And that's where the rebuild peaks. But yeah, it's a slap in the face if they think that they can just tell fans that we're going to compete. And if they don't clean house, if they don't get rid of Rick Hahn, if they don't, Kenny Williams isn't going anywhere, whatever. I've come to terms with that.
Yeah.
But if Rick Hahn is still employed by the Chicago White Sox and after the World Series, the White Sox officially take the title for the most unserious organization in professional sports.
It's hard to argue.
If they haven't had that title already for years, they play in the 3rd biggest market in the fucking country, and they're one of 3 teams who've never given $100 million contract out.
Yeah, that's insane. By the way.
Andrew Benintendi has the biggest contract in White Sox history at $75 million.
And I didn't even know if Andrew Benintendi even played because I guess that's a testament of how much he's done absolutely nothing this year.
Actually, I'll say this. Benintendi has been good this year. The power numbers, obviously, he's not a power guy, but he's hitting about 295. Since they've moved him up to the leadoff spot, he's been great. I mean,
I haven't heard about him at all.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I would have liked to see that money go elsewhere, but production's been there and he's been what I expected at least, so I'm not upset about it. I'll tell you what I'm the most upset about. I was banging the drum all off season. Give Cody Bellinger a chance. Give Cody Bellinger a chance.
I was saying the same thing.
And now look at him. He was a classic guy, just needed to change the scenery. And of course, he's the savior up on the north side now, and he's the second coming of Christ. So
I just don't understand it. Why can't the Cardinals have that? Why can't they?
Why can't
they?
It is what it is, Brandon. It's just
yeah.
But On a more positive note, biggest party of the summer this Saturday at Ford Field, SummerSlam, and it's a small card. It's a relatively small card. I don't hate that. I know some people are upset about certain matches being left off. I get it. I did.
I did too.
I get it. I don't understand how Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch isn't on the card. They've been building this for months and months. I get that. Rhea Ripley not having a match on the card, it makes sense from a storyline perspective. Raquel is hurt and been promised a match when she's cleared from injury. I'm still not ruling out that being a match on Saturday.
Yeah, I think it could be a lead addition.
Yeah, I'm not ruling out them adding that during the pre-show. But before we move into the actual card, they need to cut the shit with the 4 main event thing. There is one main event, and it's whoever goes on last.
I agree.
I
agree.
I just end of the day, main event is who goes on last, and we know what the main event is going to be this Saturday.
Oh yeah,
and we'll finish with that, obviously.
Of course.
Just all right, the Battle Royal. It's LA Knights to lose. Who are we kidding?
I agree.
I mean, it's LA Knights to lose. He's got to at least have some type of moment soon before fans. Who knows if fans are going to cool off, though? Did you see the merchandise numbers for the month of July on Twitter?
Oh, he's the one. He's the one.
It's
off the charts.
Wide margin. And I saw the numbers. He has 15 total branded items in the WWE shop. Number 2 is Cody Rhodes, and he has like 170.
Whew,
wow. So,
I mean, that's just insane.
I mean, you haven't seen someone get this naturally over since I don't know. Do we see Daniel? I mean, is Daniel Bryan?
But because I feel like we're missing somebody, but like I just don't. It doesn't come to mind for somebody who just came this natural to.
Yeah.
Like they just came out one day and everybody just started cheering. I don't remember.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's genuine.
At least in recent memory. At least in recent memory.
Yeah. So I mean, it's his to lose. It's either him or Chad Gable. I think it's him or Chad Gable are going to win the Battle Royal, especially after the showing on Monday night from Chad Gable against Gunther. I'll tell you what, it ain't going to be Drew McIntyre who dethrones Gunther. It's going to be Chad Gable.
If that happens,
it's going to be
First of all, I'll be stunned. But
dude, the Alpha Academy is fighting on all cylinders. It just
literally
it just works.
And who knew that Maxine Dupree was going to put them over the top?
I'll tell you what, hand up, it wasn't me. It works, man. And you kind of sensed this push coming for Chad Gable for a long time. People have been clamoring for it. You can see what he can do. You started to notice a shift in the commentary team as well. Yeah. I noticed it on Monday night. Corey Graves saying that when it comes to the mat, like wrestling, pure wrestling, who better to teach you than Chad Gable on this entire roster? They're starting to recognize and call out these things. And I don't know why I think that he is going to be the one to beat Gunther at this point. Gunther is going to beat Honky Tonk Man's reign. I don't know what happens here, but I think after this, I don't think it's going to be one and done here between the two, but I think that Drew McIntyre moves on to the World Heavyweight title picture after this little mini feud with Gunther. I do.
Possible.
And the reason for Chad Gable, Imperium's whole thing, Gunther's whole thing, he respects this great sport. The mat is sacred. If you want to take it literally, Chad Gable was an Olympic fucking wrestler. I mean, like the storyline is there. And I don't know. I think they're finally starting to realize what they have in Chad Gable, and it's about damn time.
It's crazy because I don't see the end in sight for Gunther. I don't think it'll be McIntyre. I don't think it'll be Gable. But maybe they're saving him for a specific NXT
I know
superstar
exactly who
who,
you're.
by the way, had a 5-star match this weekend and one of my personal favorites, Ilya Dragunov. I mean,
He is so fucking good.
it's unbelievable how good he is. Unbelievable how good he is. And I went into this match and I'm just like, it's either going to be 4 or 5 stars. Either way. And I said this on Twitter. I've said this on Twitter about Dragunov for the longest of times. He is my type of wrestler because he's just a motherfucker that likes violence. That's I love that about him. I absolutely love that. And if you want anybody to match Gunther's intensity other than McIntyre, that's your guy. That's your guy.
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, everyone said it was going to be Sheamus just for matching the intensity, the fucking banger after banger they had. God, I just do you think they run it back with him take just the fact that he took the UK title off of Gunther as well?
They'll do a callback, especially with Triple H involved. He seems like he's going to be at the helm for a long time now.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're going to do a callback to that, I would think.
yeah, yeah, I'm with you, but wow, we just talked about that battle royal a lot longer than I thought we would. We kind of touched on Gunther and McIntyre as well, so we'll kind of breeze over that. I'll tell you what, excited for I'm more excited for Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler than I ever anticipated I would be.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
and
the video package that they put together for that, one of the better video packages there's been in a while.
yeah, and you know what? Easily WWE could have made the very, very big mistake of not making it MMA rules. Me personally, I would have did a fight pit. I would have did a fight pit
I
match.
really thought it was going to be the fight pit because there's no okay. Yes, I guess the stipulation on this is that it's an MMA rules.
Yeah.
First female fight pit would have been fucking awesome between these.
Oh, it would have been great. And who better? Better than those two? And you know what? This is probably going to lead to a series of matches between the two. And if you want a way to build up the both of them, this is the perfect way to do it. And the great thing is too, and I could be dead wrong about this. We don't know who the face is. We don't know who the heel is. But it's very, very possible that WWE did the smart thing and said, we know the reactions Ronda's getting. There's no way we can make her a face again.
Nope. I also think,
conceivable way.
Supposedly her contract's pretty close to running out, right?
I believe so.
So, all right, like, go out on your back. I mean, just, I will be very surprised if Shayna Baszler does not win this match.
I agree. I'm with you.
And I can't believe I'm caring about a Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey match in the year 2023.
Yeah, because it should have happened way sooner than this, but I will say this. Not only will Shayna Baszler win, she will win
in a dominant way, I think. I really do think it's going to be in a dominant way. And she is coming for the women's championship.
100%.
Yeah. So next match I want to get into. I bet this opens the card other than the Battle Royal, Ricochet and Logan Paul. Dude, it drives me insane how good Logan Paul is. It's just he is so good at it, and he has no right to be as good at it as he is this quick.
Oh, my girlfriend's favorite wrestler, Logan Paul. Yes. It bugs me. It bugs me how much he just gets it. But I think the one thing that me and you basically sorted this out, that when that Money in the Bank match happened, this was going to be the end result. It was going to be Ricochet and Logan Paul at SummerSlam. And the one thing that has stunned me, pleasantly stunned me, was that Ricochet can hang. He can hang.
I was gonna say Monday night was the best I think Ricochet has sounded on a microphone
in a long time.
A long,
maybe ever.
Hey, it was on the tip of my tongue to say ever, and it just there's heat there. I mean that I don't usually like the cheap heat, but it works with Logan Paul because everyone fucking wants a reason to hate him, and when he calls out, I laughed. I laughed at him calling out Samantha Irvin. I mean that made me laugh. I'll give it to him, and unfortunately for Ricochet, I don't see him winning this match.
I know.
But the exposure is enough, and it goes to show you that they trust him to carry Logan Paul. And not that Logan Paul, which is insane, not that Logan Paul even needs to be carried, I don't think. But they're gonna get something fucking crazy happening in this match.
100%. And you know what? Just the proof that Logan Paul just gets it. He used Samantha Irvin as a way to piss off Ricochet.
Yeah.
And I think if I'm Ricochet and if someone talked about her, I'd be acting the same damn way, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
I digress.
I bet it opens the card. I bet they go 10 to 12 minutes, and it's gonna be a spot fest.
Yeah, it's gonna be. You know what? Exactly what it should be.
Yep, it's gonna be a spot fest. You're gonna see a fucking wild Spanish fly. I'm sure. I bet you see a callback to the Royal Rumble spot because they called it out. And I don't know. I mean,
one of those matches, you're gonna get a lot of clips on Twitter for it. And
yeah, and it's gonna be a lot of Logan Paul is still doing this shit. Like,
yep.
And not that he's gonna be a household name, but a lot more people are gonna know the name Ricochet after Saturday.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Goal achieved.
Yeah.
So moving into the next matchup, triple threat for the women's championship: Asuka, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair. I bet we see a cash in.
I think that's the most legit result.
They want to keep Asuka strong. I mean, Charlotte Flair is bulletproof at this point. So is Bianca Belair, but
yeah.
I think this just gives them the opportunity to pivot. They let Io Sky and Shayna Baszler potentially run it back to the NXT days. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think a cash in is likely. I don't know if it's.
I think it is because
during the match. I don't know if it's after, but I think that will be the big swerve we see. I think we're seeing one cash in on Saturday, and I don't think it's coming from Damian Priest.
Me either. But this match is so they've promoted it well, but I'm so indifferent on it because you have two,
which is it's a shame because of all the talent that's involved. Exactly. It's going to be incredible to watch, but there just doesn't feel like there's any juice behind it.
Yeah, because I just think. I think it's one of those matches that make you antsy because you just don't know who's going to take the pin, and you don't know who's going to really benefit from losing this match, especially considering that bulletproof. So I think the best way to do it is do a cash in. It's just a matter of would Asuka be the person that gets cashed in on?
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know
either. And do I know the realistic scenario? I think.
What's that?
The only way we're going to get the big pop, Charlotte Flair wins, Io Sky cashes in, and it's just another tally on Charlotte Flair passing her dad for the all-time title ranking. And I think that's the likely scenario.
It is the definition of shameless.
Oh, I know.
Shameless.
Yep.
And that's why if it happens, it better come with a cash in. Because if it's just, all right, I want a title and we just face the black, I'm going to have a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, realistically, I would not be surprised if, from a pure wrestling perspective, this is the best match on the entire card. I wouldn't be surprised. But just it's missing something. I don't know.
It is.
I'm glad. I'm glad we're on the same page because I'm like, I should be more excited for this.
Oh yeah,
And I'm not. I'm not.
I'm not at all.
Realistically, though, since it's the only women's match on the card, I bet they let them cook for 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah, and you know what? I think the talent involved. We talk a lot about Bianca Belair. We talk a lot about Asuka, how great they are. Charlotte was involved with one of the best matches this year. I think a lot of people forget. And so people got reminded, it was like, no, because these two girls in Japan, they did it better. These two girls in Ring of Honor, I think they did it better too. No, she had one of the best matches this year. And who's to say we can't expect the same this Saturday?
Yeah. No, I mean, realistically, I'm expecting them to tear the house down. But next match I wanted to get into, Brock Lesnar and your favorite, Cody Rhodes. Before we get into this, I just want to ask, have you watched the documentary on Peacock of Cody Rhodes?
Absolutely not, and I do not plan on it.
So I watched it last night. I know I'm a self-admitted Cody Rhodes fan, but it was really well fucking done. It genuinely, it was really well done. And I mean, WWE tends to hit it out of the park with their documentaries that they do, but it was really, really, really well done. And it just made me question even more why Cody Rhodes did not win the title at WrestleMania. That was my main takeaway from this documentary was the pop he gets when he eventually does win the title.
Yeah,
is going to be
earth-shattering,
astronomically loud. Like, it's bound to happen. And I'm glad they're keeping him busy, you could say, with Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
But they still haven't. Brock never addressed why he took him out. It still never happened. I mean, the Monday after WrestleMania, 4 months ago, and we still don't know why.
Are we? But that's the thing. It might be one of those things we might never ever get an answer. And it's strange because do I care to have an answer? Not really. I'll be honest.
But it's just like, it's Brock Lesnar. I get it. He doesn't need to have a reason to want to go after another top.
Right.
But it's just like, it would be nice to have something.
True.
And my other gripe with this, how the hell isn't there a stipulation on this match?
Yeah, that's where they mess up, because I feel like a match that is basically considered a grudge match, you have to have a stipulation, or else you're going to have the same match you had the first match, the second match. There has to be something added to it so it stands out from the rest. It's considering it is a grudge match. What the plan is here, I don't know if they are going to have someone be dominated or whatever it's going to be, but it is strange that add a stipulation. They did not add a stipulation.
I was expecting a bull rope match. I really was.
Yeah.
For the callback to Dusty, I mean, the innovator of the bull rope match. I really, really was expecting a bull rope match, potentially last man standing.
Yeah.
I quit potentially as well, just because, well, not last man standing, because Brock had the last man standing match at SummerSlam last year.
Yeah.
I quit makes sense, though, considering Cody passed out in the Kimura.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's why I thought that made sense. I will be shocked if Cody Rhodes doesn't win this match.
Oh, stunned.
I just really fucking hope this does not go on last, because that's how you begin to get people to turn on Cody Rhodes.
If that, I would be, I get paid on Saturday, I'll give my whole check away if that shit goes on last, because that's how confident I am that it will not go on last.
I know, I'm with you, but just Brock is Mr. SummerSlam. Think about it. Him and Randy Orton in 2016, 17?
2016. Which had no business going on last, by the way. No business.
No. So that's why I'm not ruling it out. But
yeah, because I just remember just
Brock busting open Randy Orton the hard way.
you thought it was going to lead to like a Brock Lesnar Shane McMahon thing. It never happened. So it definitely doesn't make sense nowadays.
Nope. But yeah, I mean, shocked if Cody doesn't win this. He just keep the momentum rolling. I don't know what he does next after this, quite frankly.
Yeah, me either.
But, yeah, I'm expecting him to win this match. So, first world title match I want to hit on. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor. I think the end is near for Seth freaking Rollins.
I am so indifferent on this match. I really am.
So am I. No, so am I.
It is literally a coin flip match. Literally a coin flip. And I know they probably want to have the callback to SummerSlam and whatnot, but SummerSlam of 26, 2015, 16, 16. I know they want to have the callback to that. It's leading that way, but man, I truly do not know. I do not know who's going to win this match. But if you ask me, who would it make sense for to win this match? It's Finn Balor. He needs this win. Judgment Day seems to be the act that's going to be heavily featured. As you can tell, the Bloodline storyline is winding down.
Mm-hmm.
They need a storyline where power structure is in jeopardy. The perfect way to do this is have a Finn Balor win that championship, and Damian Priest just looking at that championship, wait for his opportunity.
Yeah, and that just so many fresh programs there.
Right.
I mean, like that's just and not that you can't get fresh programs with Seth Rollins. You still can. But I mean, you could go Finn Balor, Bobby Lashley, who is returning and looks like he's forming some type of alliance with the Street Profits.
Mm-hmm.
You do Finn Balor, Drew McIntyre. You can do Finn Balor. I mean, Gunther still. I mean, you still can go the route of Gunther going for the world title. You can,
or even Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn, yeah. Especially,
Kevin Owens going to be out.
I was going to say, especially with it looking like Kevin Owens is going to be out. I don't think it's long until those tag titles are vacated.
Yeah, I agree.
It's unfortunate that the reign had to end that way, but I think that's going to start giving. I think, okay, now the thoughts in my head. Sami Zayn is going to win the world heavyweight title, and he's going to be who's cashed in on.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. But I also do believe Finn Balor will be cashed in on by Damian Priest. I think how I see it is Finn Balor will win the championship, and he's going to start talking down to Damian.
Yeah,
start talking down there. That dissension is going to be multiplied throughout the weeks, and Damian Priest is eventually going to snap.
So, do you see it being the Judgment Day siding with Finn Balor or Damian Priest? Because I think it'll be Damian Priest.
Oh, I think they're going to side with Finn. If they're going to continue with them being a heel group, I think they can. I think the mainstream press that they got with Damian Priest with that Bad Bunny match, they know they can market him.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to run with that.
So the reason I think that it could potentially be in favor of Priest, you know what you have in a babyface Finn Balor if you want it, and a babyface Finn Balor who is firing on all cylinders has fucking money, man.
And
he like on the main roster, in my opinion, he still has never gotten that true full-fledged babyface push he deserved after hurting himself after winning the Universal title.
True.
So I don't know. There's a lot of different ways they could go about it, and if you would make a prediction right now, who's walking out with the World Heavyweight title on Saturday?
God damn it. Ah. I'm going Finn.
I'm with you. Finn Balor.
Reluctantly, I'm going Finn.
Finn Balor's going to be walking out with big gold on Saturday, I think.
Yeah.
So now, tribal combat. Main event, Jey Uso, Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. Man, I am so fucking excited for this match.
Oh, it's gonna be incredible.
It is. I mean, it's the phrase has been tossed around on Twitter a lot the last year or two with the storyline cinema. This is going to be cinema, and I mean, there's no shot Jey Uso wins. Unfortunately, I don't think. I would love to see it because I think he is the logical person to do it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see it happening. I think it's going to be 30 minutes of just pure madness, chaos. Roman's finally going to have the chinks in the armor. I mean, he has them already, but the Roman Empire is going to be crumbling down.
Roman Reigns won this match. Screwy.
Absolutely.
It's going to be very screwy. Now, my question is this. Will this be a match where Roman Reigns gets help from Solo? Or will this match be the start of the Roman Solo dissension?
It's the start of the Roman Solo dissension, I think.
And I think when I forgot, I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, when Roman and Jey embraced, Solo had a very, very nasty look for Roman Reigns.
Yep.
He did not like it. And I feel like once he starts seeing Roman's true side, he's not going to want to. He don't want to be the tribal chief. Yep. He doesn't want. He's not going to want to be a part of the Usos. He's not going to want to be a part of Roman and Paul. It's not going to happen.
All in the name, man. It's all in the name.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I think we're going to see the return of Jimmy Uso. I don't know in what capacity. I don't know what role he's going to play. But something tells me something extremely, extremely screwy is going to happen. I had a theory up until I just kind of came to my senses to be like, no, that's not going to happen. I had a feeling we was going to see a double turn. I had a feeling we was going to see a double turn where Paul Heyman cost Roman Reigns the championship. Only because him getting pinned kind of shows weakness. And Paul probably does not have time for basically a guy who's a loser.
Yeah.
But I just can't see that happening now. I can't see it happening only because this storyline is going somewhere.
Yep.
We're reaching its end, but to what point are we reaching the end of the storyline? I don't know. I genuinely do not know.
And I mean, I think WWE is afraid to, at this point, admit that they made the wrong decision with not pulling the trigger on Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, because with the way this Bloodline storyline is going, realistically, Roman Reigns should not be world champion going into WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia.
Got some bad news for you.
Hey, I'm enjoying this. I genuinely, I've enjoyed every second of this reign. I don't even give a shit that I saw a stat. The last title defense Roman had where there was no interference. Take a guess.
Last title defense without interference. Wow. Damn. I'm going to say John Cena in 2021.
October of 2022 against Matt Riddle on SmackDown.
Oh, okay. Damn. Damn.
Yeah. I saw that on Twitter today, and I was just like, fuck, man. And
yeah.
It's I mean, it's just going to be art. People make fun of me for saying professional wrestling is art.
Exactly what it is. Exactly what it is.
Exactly what it is. I mean, this storyline, the WWE, yes, it's sports entertainment. It's a fucking TV show. End of the day, it's TV.
That's it.
Everyone involved in this storyline should be up for some type of fucking awards.
100%.
it's been incredible. Roman Reigns will be the next Hollywood star out of WWE. Jey
Mhm.
Uso will be able to get Hollywood roles if he would like after this, I bet. And
Yeah.
I mean, same with Jimmy. It's all been there. And just on the topic of, WWE guys in the mainstream, Paul Heyman yesterday.
Incredible.
Hey,
Incredible.
holy shit, man.
He is built for stuff like this. If he had a slot debating whatever he
He
wants,
was.
it will be prime time
It
television.
was. I mean, I am the greatest of all time. Well, something Bobby Heenan. Well, he's dead.
And he said, God don't answer my prayers because Jimmy Hart is still here. Oh, and Stephen A's reaction to is so much better.
It was.
Oh my goodness.
And that, I mean, I know I've said this before. I need Stephen A. and a on a WWE screen in some capacity. I don't know
It's
how.
a must.
I don't know how, but fuck, it'd be awesome.
It's a must. It's a massive missed opportunity if he never gets the chance.
Yep. I mean, hey, great exposure though, being on ESPN First Take with Stephen A. There is a buzz around the WWE product again. And
yeah,
I mean, the numbers that you've been seeing, they're doing record numbers financially.
Yep.
Triple H era is just beginning. Vince on permanent leave again. It's only up from here, man.
That's right. And thank the Lord in heaven, I do not need to see anymore what changes Vince McMahon made to the shows. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Yep. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. But with that being said, it's going to wrap this week's episode of the Goonery. Talked about a lot, and we'll have a lot to talk about again next week. And we will be breaking down the entire SummerSlam card, get a pulse check on our Bears, and realistically probably just talk and bitch and moan about baseball again, because that's what we do on this show.
That's right.
Made it this far. Appreciate you spending the time with us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the show. We will see you next time.